The first step of your visa application journey, clarifying the purpose of your visit. The question you need to answer is, why are you planning to visit Canada? There could be several reasons. Perhaps you're looking to explore the stunning landscapes as a tourist. Or you might be an aspiring student seeking to broaden your horizons at one of Canada's prestigious universities. Maybe you've landed an exciting job opportunity and need a work visa. Each purpose corresponds to a different type of visa, and it's crucial to apply for the correct one. The key here is honesty. Be clear and truthful about your intentions. Misrepresentations can lead to delays or worse, rejections. Once you've determined your purpose, you're ready to move on to the next step of the visa application process. It's time to gather the necessary documents for your application. First up, you'll need a valid passport. This essential travel document should be valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay in Canada. If you don't have one, apply for it at the nearest passport office or government authority in your country. Next, you'll need proof of financial support. This could be bank statements, employment letter, or proof of assets or business. It's crucial to demonstrate you have the financial means to support your stay in Canada and the return journey. If you're visiting friends or family, a letter of invitation is required. This letter should include details about the host, their relationship with you, the purpose and duration of your visit, and information about their status in Canada. For those traveling for business, a letter from your employer or inviting company is needed. This letter should spell out the purpose of your visit, the nature of the business, and how both parties will benefit. If you're planning to study, a letter of acceptance from the Canadian institution is required. It should be on official letterhead, clearly stating the name of the institution and course of study. In addition, you may need to provide a medical examination report, depending on the duration and purpose of your visit. Some applicants may also need to provide biometric fingerprints and photo. Remember, all documents must be in English or French, or be accompanied by an official translation. To obtain each document, approach the relevant authorities or institutions. For instance, your bank can provide a financial statement, while your employer or school can provide the necessary letters. For the medical examination, you'll need to see a doctor approved by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. Every document you submit must be genuine, clear, and accurate. Any discrepancies or falsified information could lead to your application being denied. With your documents in hand, you're ready to fill out the application form. Filling out the application form may seem daunting, but don't worry, we'll guide you through it. Let's start with the basics. The first section of the form is typically your personal information. Fill in your full name, date of birth, and contact information accurately. Remember, honesty is key here. Any discrepancies can lead to unnecessary complications, even refusal of your application. So, whether it's your name or your phone number, ensure every little detail is spot on. Next, you'll be asked about your passport. Make sure to provide the correct passport number, issue and expiry dates. Also, don't forget to mention your nationality as stated in your passport. Following this, there's the travel history section. Here, you'll need to list down all the countries you've visited in the past 10 years. If you don't remember exactly, don't stress. It's okay to estimate, as long as you're not intentionally withholding information. Now let's move to the purpose of visit section. Be clear and concise about why you're going to Canada. Whether it's for tourism, to visit family, or for business, state your purpose honestly. If you're visiting someone, make sure to provide their full name and address in Canada. The form may also ask about your employment status and educational qualifications. Again, complete honesty is the best policy. Don't embellish or omit details. If you're currently unemployed or a student, just say so. There's no right or wrong answer here. Next up, financial information. You'll need to provide information about your income and savings. This is to show that you have enough funds to support yourself during your stay in Canada. Don't worry if your income isn't sky high. What's important is that you're truthful. Lastly, there's the section about your health and character declaration. Answer these questions truthfully. If you've had any serious illnesses or legal issues, it's better to disclose them here. Remember, the goal is to provide accurate and honest information about yourself. You're not trying to impress anyone, just to provide the information needed to process your application. After filling out the application form, it's time to pay the application fee. The next step in your visa application process is paying the application fee. This fee, you see, is a crucial part of your application. It's the cost of having your application reviewed and processed. Now, the exact amount might vary, but it typically hovers around 150 Canadian dollars. So how do you make the payment? Well, most embassies and consulates accept payments through bank transfer, debit or credit cards. Some even accept cash payments, but it's best to check ahead with the specific consulate or embassy. Now, here's something important. This fee is non-refundable. Yes, you heard that right. Even if your visa application is not granted, this fee will not be returned. It's the cost of processing your application, irrespective of the outcome. Having said that, don't let this discourage you. Simply make sure you've done your best in preparing your application. Now that the payment is made, let's move on to submitting the application. You've made it to the final stages of the application process, submission and waiting. Now, it's time to submit your application. You have two options for this, either online or through a visa application center. Submitting online is quite straightforward. You'll need to create an account on the Canadian Visa website, follow the prompts to upload your completed application form and necessary documents, then submit. On the other hand, if you opt for a visa application center, you'll need to bring along your completed application and all the required documents. The center will then take care of the rest, including sending your application to the Canadian Embassy. After the submission, you might wonder, how long do I have to wait? Well, this is where patience comes into play. The processing times can vary greatly depending on the volume of applications the embassy is dealing with. On average, it can take anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months. While waiting, resist the urge to bombard the embassy or visa application center with calls or emails. This won't speed up the process and, in fact, could potentially slow it down. However, if you submitted your application online, you can check the status of your application on the same website. During this waiting period, it's a good idea to start planning your trip. Look into accommodation options, research places you'd like to visit, and start learning about Canadian customs and culture. This way, you'll be well prepared for your trip once your visa gets approved. Remember, the waiting period can be a time of anticipation, but try not to let it become a time of stress. Use this time wisely to prepare for your trip and to continue with your regular routine. In the end, all good things come to those who wait, and your Canadian visit visa could very well be one of them. On the bright side, once the wait is over, you'll be one step closer to exploring the beautiful landscapes, vibrant cities, and welcoming culture of Canada. Once you've submitted your application, it's time to wait for the decision. Congratulations! Your visa has been approved. Now it's time to prepare for your trip. So, you've been granted your visa. The hard part might be over, but there's still a lot to do before you can step aboard that plane. The first order of business? Securing your flight tickets. It's advisable to wait until your visa is approved before purchasing your tickets, to avoid any costly cancellations or date changes. Once your flight is booked, it's time to prepare for the customs interview. This step is crucial, as it's your last hurdle before entering Canada. Remember, honesty is the best policy. Be prepared to provide details about your visit, including the purpose and duration of your stay, as well as any contacts or places you plan to visit. It's also a good idea to carry any supporting documents that may be asked for, like your hotel booking confirmation, return ticket, or an invitation letter from a Canadian resident if you're visiting someone. While it's not necessary to carry these documents, having them handy can make your interview process smoother. Now, let's talk about packing. Canada's weather can be quite diverse depending on the time of year and the region you're visiting. So, do a bit of research about the climate and pack accordingly. Don't forget essentials like travel adapters, prescription medications, and of course your passport with the newly minted visa. Lastly, remember to carry a copy of your visa approval letter and your travel insurance documents. These are crucial and should be in your carry-on luggage. Preparing for your trip may seem daunting, but remember, this is the beginning of an exciting new adventure. Take the time to check and double-check everything. It's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. And there you have it, a step-by-step guide to the final leg of your visa journey. With your visa in hand and your bags packed, you're ready to embark on your journey to Canada. Bon voyage!